Welcome back everyone to Kids Coding Playground. Today we'll be making a basketball free throw challenge 2-player game. So as you can see, my brother made another basketball game. We posted a tutorial a few days ago, but instead of using video, we're going to be using just the mouse. So like the last one, like you use your video, you try to use your body parts to knock the ball into the goal. Well, this time it's going to be different. So I'm going to demonstrate the game, so let's play it. So player 1 starts out. So however you hold the ball, as you can see the power is going up. As you can see I miss. So usually around 50 to 60 power it will make it in. As you can see I made it in and I gained 1 score in the right side, you can see. And let's see, I missed that, see. Around from 50 to 60 it will make it in. Alright, and let's say you don't make it, yeah, just switch to the next player. Yeah, so it's basically kind of like a basketball free throw. Each person gets 5 throws. Alright, let's finish this game real quick. Alright. Okay, so as you can see, player 2 had 3 score, and player 1 had 0 score. So player 2 won, so it will display player 2 wins. So that's pretty much the game. Let's create a new project. Alright, so we'll start out with renaming the project. Let's name it the basketball free throw. Alright. And then we will not use the scratch cat. I'm pretty sure they have a basketball sprite in here. Yeah, we'll just take this basketball sprite. We'll name this P1, which stands for player 1. We can duplicate it, and then we'll just P2, yeah, we'll just basically recolor it. Let's make it like a blue color. Boom. So we just recolor this. P1 is just the normal basketball, and then for P2 we will do just a blue basketball. Alright. So for the code, we are also going to for the backdrop, we're also getting a backdrop. So I'm pretty sure they have a basketball backdrop. Yeah, right here. We'll be using this one, I guess. Okay, so now we're gonna make the target sprite inside the game. So we're gonna go to the backdrop, and we're only gonna take this basketball hoop. We're just gonna copy it, and then we're going to make paint a new sprite, paste it here. And we're gonna ungroup this thing so that we can get only the white part. We just need the backboard. That'll be our target. So we're just gonna delete all of this, and leaving us with this, and you can just drag it on top to fit it. Like that. And we're gonna rename this sprite to target. Target. So inside the target, and then inside the target we'll just put a simple piece of code. When green flag clicked inside the target, we're just gonna make it go to the back layer. Alright, that's it. Go to back layer. Alright, that's it. And then for the player 1 ball, we're going to start off with getting a when green flag clicked. So inside the player 1 ball, when green flag clicked, we're going to show. And then we're going to set the size to 100% because as you saw in the demonstration, the ball gets smaller as you get closer to the goal to simulate that it's going further away from you. And for the old project, I made it go to x0 and then the y is negative 110. Alright. And then we're going to make 2 variables for all sprites. One is called P1 score, and then the other one should be called P1 ball count. So this is the amount of balls the player has. Alright, and then we'll need to make 2 more variables for this sprite only, so you have to click the for this sprite only. And we'll name it counter, so this is to count how many times you'll go through the loop. And then we will make another for this sprite only, and it'll be power. So it's how much power you throw the ball at. Alright, so first we will get a when this sprite is clicked. So as you can see, we use the mouse, so we're going to use when sprite clicked. Also, after this, we have to set the P1 score to 0 and set the player 1 ball count to 5. So I'll give them 5 shots. And then when the sprite is clicked, we are going to set the power to 0 in the beginning. And then we're going to point direction of 0, which is pointing up. And then we're going to get an if-then statement. So if the player ball count is greater than 0, so if they haven't ran out of tries, then it will repeat until not mouse down. So you'll keep on repeating this until not mouse down. So not mouse down. Oops, mouse down. Put that in here. And then we're going to, basically, when you're clicking on it, we're going to change the power by pick random 1 to 10 to give it a little bit of variability. Just make it vary a little bit. So we're going to change the power by pick random 1 to 10. Right. And then right here, we're going to get an if-then statement inside this repeat loop. So we're going to get an if. If the power is greater than or equal to 100, equal to 100. Greater than or equal to 100. So basically, once you hold on the ball too long and the power exceeds 100, we're basically just going to make it start back from the beginning. So if the power is greater than 100 or equal to 100, then we're going to set the power back to 0. So it'll keep on looping around. Right, and then we're going to make it wait 0.01 seconds. Just give it a little bit wait. And then we're going to broadcast a message called shoot. So this is to shoot the ball. Shoot. Alright, so inside the same sprite, we're going to, when I receive shoot, we can set the counter to 0. So the counter will be 0. I actually could have done all the code in player 1 and then just duplicated the sprite. But I guess that's okay because some of the code is different from player 1 and player 2. Alright, when I receive shoot, set counter to 0. And then we're going to repeat until the counter is greater than power or that it's touching the edge. Alright, so we're going to repeat and then get an OR. Let's move this to the side of it. Or counter greater than power. Counter power. The counter is just like to count how much times it loops, and then we're going to, if it's touching the edge as well. Touching edge. And then after this, we're going to make it move 5 steps. So it's going to move 5 steps towards the goal. So move 5 steps. And we're going to change the counter by 1. Alright. And then we're going to move, or we're going to set the size to 100. And then we're going to go back to the original 0, negative 110 after you've shot the ball. Alright. And then we're going to broadcast player 2 ready. The player 2 will be ready once player 1 is done shooting. So player 2 ready. And then we're going to hide this ball once it is done. Once you're done. Alright. So what else do we have to do? Oh yeah. And when I receive shoot, remember we broadcast here, we have to receive something else. When I see the message shoot, then we're going to change the P1 ball counter by -1. By -1. And we're going to repeat 20 times. So this is just to make the ball smaller, so it will look like it's going away from you. Repeat 20 times, and then we're going to change the size by 2, -2. Alright. Okay, so, and then we will get another when green flag clicked. So, when green flag clicked, forever. So if the power is between 50 and 60, then, and touching the target, then we'll change the score. So so we're going to need 2 AND statements, so and operators, put them like that. And so if the power is greater than 50 and the power is less than 60, so between 50 and 60 because it's around near the goal. That's why we're doing that. Power is less than 60. Then and touching the target. So if it's within all these requirements, then we'll broadcast a message called score and wait. Get used to wait. Oops. Alright, and then when I receive score inside the player 1, when I receive score, we're going to hide. Change the P1 score by 1. And then we're going to wait a 0.2 second. Alright. Okay. Let's try it out for player 1. So as you get, oh wait, let me show the variable first. Show the variable power. Alright, let me change it to slider. Alright. Let's play it in. So as you can see, when you hold on it, the slider will continue going back and forth. And let's see, 61. That's a miss. As you can see, 46. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. Let's try one more time. Let's try getting something within 50. Oops. As you can see, that is score because it's touching the target and it's between 50 and 60. Alright. So now let's work on player 2. In player 2, we are going to just drag and drop all this code. We will have to change some of it, obviously. Let's drag all this code in here. Alright, I think we have all the code inside player 2. Let's just split some of this code out. Alright. So up here, first of all, we're going to make some new variables. So we're going to make a new variable. Oh wait, I think I made the player power thing. I made the power for did I make it for all sprites? I think I did because it's showing up right here. So I think we're going to have to delete power, and then we're going to have to make it again. Oops, forgot to set it for the sprite only. Sorry about that. So power, we'll just put this back. Power equal to 100. So you always have to remember to set this to this sprite only. Set power to 0. Right, where else do we're using power right here as well. Where else do we have using power? I think that's it. Checking. Alright, I think that's all the uses of power. Oh yes, and I forgot, you also have to set the power to 0 in the beginning. That's one more. And we have to change the power by pick random. Change power by pick random 1 to 10. Give it a little vary. Alright, I think that's all of it. Sorry about that. I forgot to change it to this sprite only. So inside here, the variables. Oh wait, it's already made for us. Oh, okay. I think when I had this, it was already with it. So player 2 also needs a variable called power, but you also have to set it to this sprite only. So just remember that. And we'll also make another variable inside player 2. So we're just gonna name it counter again, but for the sprite only. And then we're gonna make some new variables called P2 ball count and P2 score. For all sprites. This is for all sprites. Score. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so inside the player 2, we are going to change up some variables. Instead of P1 score, we're going to do P2 score and P2 ball count. And right here, power 0, this is all the same except the variables. Power P2 ball count. And right here, same. Instead of shoot, we're gonna have to broadcast shoot 2 because shoot is already in use. So we're gonna make a new variable called shoot 2 because if you're gonna broadcast shoot from player 2, it's gonna use what player 1 is doing. So we're gonna have to broadcast shoot 2. And right here, player 2's score. We're gonna change the player 2 score. And then right here, we're gonna do the player 2 ball count. Change that. Alright, anything else? Okay, I think this power has to be for this sprite, only the power for this one. Yeah, so power already there. Alright. So now, what else do we have to do? Alright, yeah, and we also have to do this. So in here, remember, I also forgot to drag and drop one more piece of the code. So remember to get all of your code in here. So let's zoom back in. We also have to change this one. The counter is the same. Yep. Counter. And then set size to 100. Go to that. Yeah. And then instead of player 2 ready, we're gonna yeah. So right now we're gonna do player 1 ready. We're gonna make a new message called player 1 ready. Because the player 2 has already gone, so we're going to do player 1 ready. Alright. So, and then right here, we're going to receive a message. When I receive player 2 ready from the player 1, we're going to show this one. And also, we're going to just drag and drop this into the player 1. And player 1, instead of player 2 ready, we're going to do player 1 ready. Then we'll show it. And then also in player 2, we're going to add one more piece of code. So right here, instead of shoot, we're obviously going to have to broadcast shoot 2. Same with all of this one. This has to be shoot 2. And right here, we're going to have to make a new variable called score. New message called score 2. So where did we do the score? Alright, so down here, we're going to have to broadcast a new message called score 2. And wait, remember that? And so then right here we're going to do score 2 and wait. Alright. Alright, I think everything is now fine. Alright. Okay, so inside the shoot 2, we're going to get an if then statement. So what this does is so since player 2 goes last, we're going to have to put an if then statement inside of here. So we're going to get an if then statement. So if, we're going to wrap it around this one and put the hide back at the bottom. So if the player ball count is greater than 0, then we're going to broadcast player 1 ready. Since player 2 goes last. Player 1 counts. P1 ball counts. Alright. Now we can work on the flashing thing, as you can see in the beginning, when we in the demonstration, it'll say player 1 ready, player 2 ready. So we're gonna do that stuff. So we're just gonna paint some sprites. Alright, so let's get the text sprite. I'll just make it green. I don't know. Let's just write player 1 ready. Just to let the players know that player 1 is going. Right, center your sprite, and then we're just going to duplicate this one. Let's just make it another color. Oops. Let me duplicate again. I have to change the color first. It's my mistake. Player 2 ready. Okay, now I can highlight it and turn it red. Alright. So we have player 1 ready, player 2 ready, and then we're gonna, let's say both players tie. So we're gonna duplicate this, and we're gonna change text and write it is a tie. Because it is still possible to tie in this game if both players get the same score. Let's make it like a yellow color, or orange color. No, yellow's kind of hard to see. It's like a dark orange color. Alright, So now we have our costumes. Let's go into our ready sprite. So let's rename it to ready. Okay, so inside the ready sprite, we're going to make a block. And the block is going to be named blink. So we're going to make it like blink a little bit. Like flash. So instead of having to redo the code over and over again, we're just going to use a custom block to define it. So we're going to repeat 2 times. Repeat 2 times, wait 0.1 second. 0.1 seconds, show, wait, just duplicate this, and then right here at the end we're just going to hide. And then we're going to also put a hide at the bottom, like that, okay? And then when green flag clicked, we're going to switch the costume to costume 1, which is this one, the player 1 wins. And then we're going to, player 1 ready, and then we're going to put the blink custom block under it. And then when I receive player 1 ready, just duplicate this. And then when I receive player 2 ready, oops, we're just going to use the same thing, but we're going to use costume 2 instead, which is the player 2. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Let's go to the win sprite. So we're going to make a new sprite. Let's make it like a blue color, I guess. Dark blue color. And then we're going to write you win. Player 1 wins. Player 1 wins. Alright. And then we're also going to do player 2 wins. And so on. Actually, wait. The it is a tie is supposed to be in here. It's my mistake. Player 1 wins, and then we're going to switch this to player 2 wins. And then the it is a tie should be inside this one. Okay. And then we're going to write is a tie. It is a tie has to be in the you win sprite. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so inside the win sprite, we're just going to rename this sprite to win. In the code, we are going to, when green flag clicked, hide. And right now, we're going to have to wait 1 second. So the reason for, so we're going to wait 1 second right here, okay? And then after this, we're going to get a forever loop. And then if the player ball count is equal to 0, and the player 2 count is equal to 0, so we're going to put an and equal 0, 0, player 1 ball count, player 2 ball count is equal to 0. We're going to wait 2 seconds. And the reason for waiting 2 seconds is so the last player can finish shooting before. Alright, so after I finish this code, I'll show you why we will need to wait. Because sometimes if you don't wait, the player 2 might be like halfway done with shooting, but it'll end the game and say player 1 wins, even though player 2 could have probably tied up the game or something. So after this, we're going to get an if else. So if, put the if else in here. So if player 1 score is equal to player 2 score, so that means if they're both equal, then we're going to make it tie. So player 2 score, then we're going to switch the costume to costume 3, which is the tie. Oops. Which is the tie costume. Yeah. Alright. And after this, we're going to get another if-else statement. So if, inside the else, we're going to put another if-else. So if the player 1 score is greater than the player 2 score, player 1 is greater than player 2 score, then we're going to switch the costume to costume 1, which is the costume for player 1 winning. Else, we'll switch to costume 2, which is player 2 winning. And then after this, we're going to show, and we're going to stop all. Alright. Now we're finished with the code. I will show you exactly why we would need that. Okay, so let's move all the player 2 stuff onto one side and all the player 1 stuff onto one side. So the player 2 power, I'll put on slider Alright, so that's player 2 power. Player 2 score, I'll just do it like that. Player 1 ball count. Player 1 power. Alright, player 2 score. And put this on top. Alright, now we have both sides. Okay, let's test out the game. So as you can see, I'm not making any of these shots right now. Yeah, so that should be a shot. As you can see, player 2 now has 1 point. Overshot that one. Overshot this one too. 59, that's a shot. This might end up as a tie, actually. Yeah, so it's a tie. So it will say it is a tie. And obviously you can make these sprites go to 0-0 if you want. So in the beginning, you can just make it go to 0-0, so it's even. And also for here, you can also, when green flag plates, 0-0. Alright, so I will remove this, wait 2 seconds and show you what will happen now. Okay, so let's quickly finish this game. Alright, so right now I made 1 with player 2. So as you can see, player 2 has 1 more shot left. Player 2 has 2 more shots left. Player 1 has 1 more shot left. Player 1 will go one more time. And as you can see, look. In the middle of shooting, player 2 will already stop. Even though player 1 already lost, but player 1 could have had a chance to win. So you do not want this to happen. You don't want it to just randomly stop the action before the ball is being shot. So we always have to make it wait 2 seconds before we do it. Alright, so that's why the wait 2 seconds is necessary. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.